Let's talk about it. The Pacers find a way to do it again. 2 of the last 3 games this Pacers team has won has been them down by 7+ points with 50 seconds to go and still winning. Do y'all realize how insane that is? Something you see once a year. And like the entirety of the NBA. We just saw it twice in a single week, and that's from the same team. Insane. I guess OKC kind of did something similar. The last 48 hours of hoops have been elite. I know that the Warriors-Minnesota game, they gave us a ton, but still, the last 48 hours have been elite. Let's focus on the Pacers. They had already taken game number 1, which took home court advantage away from the Cavaliers. And, we knew that Darius Garland was questionable, Hunter was questionable, Evan Mobley was questionable. But the way they were talking about it in game number 1 on the broadcast, Darius Garland seemed like he was going to be ready for game number 2. Obviously, that wasn't the case. I'm making dinner. I get the notification that all 3 of them are out. I thought in my mind, at least one of them will be available. All 3 of them out. So throw all the energy out of the expectations for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, if we're going to watch this game, I'm not expecting anything. And then the Cavs come out and they're hooping. You want to know how bad it was for the Cavs, though, with these 3 big injuries, obviously. Their starting lineup of Mitchell, Ty Jerome, Dean Wade, Max Strus, and Jared Allen had played a total of 8 possessions together in the regular season. 8. Do you want to know how insane it is to be in the second round in the playoffs and that is what you have to go through? It's unfortunate for the Cavs because I truly do believe that fully strength, that this Cavs team was good enough to go potentially win a championship. I didn't have them winning, but they were in my upper tier of contender. And now we're going to have Darius Garland still dealing with this toe. We're going to have Evan Mobley dealing with what he's dealing with. And DeAndre Hunter, they're already down 2-0. I just don't know. Anyway, they come out. And in a game where it would have been super easy to be down by 20 points in the first half, they were up by 20 points. Donovan Mitchell gave everything he could. And I guess something similar happened to him in this game that happened in game number 1. Game number 1, he struggled to shoot. In this game, he struggled to shoot as well. He's 1 of 7 from 3. But one thing that he did a ton in game number 1 was paint touch. And the reality is, this many paint touches, you get 30 shots on the rim, you get 21 free throws. By the end of it, he is exhausted. And not to mention, there was 100 plays in this game, but more like 10, where it's so much contact with Donovan Mitchell that I know he is bruised up. He might be in a ice bath right now, still right now, because he was in so many bang plays that I felt for him, man. This is the second time in the last 2 years where he goes for 48 or 50 points and they still don't have enough to win. Ty Jerome gave us a stinker. Full stop, a stinker. And I guess last game he took 28 of 20 from the field. Just his go-to shot so far in the series hasn't been going. That little floater from right within the arc, just not going. Again, this lineup makes no sense. Max Strus gave us his best playoff game of his career. Sam Merrill comes in and hits some big shots. But when I saw Craig Porter Jr. take it to this game, I'm like, yeah, man, if they win this game, it will be a miracle. But eventually the miracle happened on the other side of things. Down by 7, 40 seconds to go, and things just turn up. Haliburton, I want to give the Cavs the credit on Haliburton for the first 3 quarters because they denied. And you know the age-old tale with Tyrese Haliburton. It's like, if he is aggressive, getting to the basket, or aggressive with his shot, this team can be really, really deadly. And we talked about the stat of them being 27-3 anytime he scores 20. But I thought it wasn't necessarily the lack of aggression from him, because it is that as well, but it was also the Cavs just saying, hey, man, somebody else got to do it. And it ended up being Miles Turner, ended up being Aaron Nesmith for a lot of this. But in that fourth quarter, for him to come alive again and for him to miss that free throw, get the rebound, step back, shout out to Rick Carlisle for not burning the timeout and letting them play straight up and hitting that shot and hitting the big balls celebration. I know he about to get fined about $10,000 or $15,000 for it, but damn it, it is worth it. What a game. What a game. I love the energy when they were down by 18 points or so in this game. It felt like they were giving up offensive rebounds. They were just not looking like a team that was ready to win a game. And I always feel like, and I ain't got no stats to prove this, when the opposing team is dealing with so many injuries and you're already up by a game, you have to win. Because in this case, full stop, the Cavs are a better team in full strength. Would they have won this series? I think they probably would have. But I'm not saying the Pacers are a bad team by any means, because since Jan 1, they were the top 4 team in the league. But when you have a team back against the wall with injuries, you got to take advantage, because you never know. Game 3, those dudes could be back. And we just squandered away a possibility of going up 2-0 because we didn't have our foot on their necks. And Benedict Mathurin, was one of the guys that when they were giving up offensive rebounds, and so he is fighting over screens, he is competing. And that is not something that'll show up in the box score, but damn it, I recognized it very early on. He's one of the few people that I felt like kept his head steady when the Cavs are going on this Cavaliers, if you will. And then eventually they chip away, to ultimately they pull off the big comeback. I thought that also, like, there are things you could take away from the Cavs' perspective that moral victories at this point, you're down 2-0, don't mean anything. But like Pascal Siakam at some point was relegated to kind of just exist on the court because they did a really good job of not allowing him to get the switches that he wanted. Like there are certain things in game number 1, they switched almost everything. In game number 2, they did switch a lot as well, but they also kind of dictated, at least in the first two quarters of this game, they made the Pacers play their game on the defensive side of the ball. And I thought eventually the Pacers just got smarter and eventually generated some shots that they really liked. But damn, the moral victories don't mean a lot if you're a Cavs fan right now. You know, this is your best chance to win a championship post Bron, and now you are down by what you're down by. What is this? Am I tweaking? Has this been here the whole time? Is that my other monitor glaring? I have no idea. Anyway, big time shot from Tyrese Haliburton. I think it was Carson from Nerd Sesh. And I ain't fact checked this, Carson, so you better not be lying. He said something along the lines that Tyrese Haliburton clutch gene is real because he's made 10 of 11 game tying / game winning shots. That don't even sound like a real stat, but he's from Nerd Sesh, and that's what they're about, stats and shit. So it's real, and I know we can talk about this till the cows come home. Most overrated player in the league just made no sense. And granted, of the 90 people that voted, it was about 12 or 13 people that said it. And that could have been one team. That could have been the entirety of the Bucks roster. Yeah, we hate him for what he did last year. He's overrated as hell. He really is nice. And one thing I will say about Tyrese, maybe not so much this game. I'll hold on that. I was going to talk about his defensive side of the ball. I'm going to hold on that for the time being. But yeah, amazing game for the Pacers. Now they're 2 games away from being in the conference finals. And the way things are going, man, whoo! I know that there's going to be a lot of conversations about their competition in the postseason over the last 2 years. Personally, I couldn't give less of a damn. I said the same thing last year. What the hell are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? I don't even know the play that Evan Mobley got injured on, but the play that DeAndre Hunter got injured on is a ridiculous chase down block on the ball. Awkward ending, awkward falling. There's nothing they can do about that. Darius Garland was injured before this. What are they supposed to do? Just give the Cavs a win because they're injured? No, we're going to play our ass off. We're going to win. So I respect them. I know a lot of people may not in the NBA Twitter world. For me personally, they're winning basketball games. And it's not like this is a team that was a 37-win team in the regular season. Go look at them stats, man. Top 4 net rating since January 1st. Number 8 defense since January 1st. The offense was already going, and Tyrese Haliburton's averaging 22 and 12 or something along those lines. They are a good team. I say that, but I also do believe that the Cavs probably win this series, all things considered, if they were healthy, but we will never really know, I guess. Let's quickly shift over to the second game of the night. The Draymond Green jump shooting extravaganza. He hit 4 in the first half, and it just bricked everything after that. And it was like, Pierre's in the group chat like, you got to laugh, bet them threes. I'm like, I'm not touching that, dog. I know he's not about to hit no more. He exhausted all of his three-point shooting for this series, I would assume. But no, Draymond was great, both sides of the floor, I would say. And then Jimmy Butler, even though he always still finds a way to be passive, he ended up with 20 shots in this game. You know, there are certain times that he gets past his first defender and he's trying to make more than he is trying to shoot. And sometimes I just want Jimmy to just go up. But an amazing Jimmy game. Steph Curry comes out. He's incredible for the first quarter. He hits 3 threes. He looks phenomenal. And then he's holding his hammy. And obviously, I'm not a doctor. Damn it, I'm I'm as far away from a doctor as you can be. But a hamstring always scares me. A hamstring, from my experience as a watcher of this sport, it can be I'm back in 2 days. It can be I'm back in 3 weeks. Hell, when we were in high school 1,000 years ago, my boy Mike, you know him from Numbers on the Board podcast, he had just won the starting spot. He starts his first 3 games of the season. He ends up hurting his hammy. Mike is basically out for 3 weeks. Now, he don't got NBA trainers and a superhuman body like NBA professionals go, but I watched my boy go from the starter on this team to the 9th man because of his hammy, and he couldn't run no more. So I'm fingers crossed and I'm praying that this is something small that we have to even think about it, but it definitely changes the series. I know that the Warriors ended up closing things out, and I thought that all things considered, I mean, they ran so many different lineup constructions. My boy Steve Kerr is out there trying everything and anything. I'm surprised we didn't see Kevin Knox tonight. Super surprised. But when you get Pat Spencer giving him 10 good minutes, Jonathan Kuminga wasn't. You get 10 good minutes from Pat Spencer, who's doing his little hook shot and everything, and the defensive side of the ball is really where you hang your hat if you're a Warriors guy without Steph Curry on the floor. And I thought they did a phenomenal job there. But without Steph Curry, it's hard for me to believe that this is going to be a series they can win. That's why we're fingers crossed, just as a watcher, the sport, that we want to see Steph Curry be healthy and okay. Because if you're the Wolves, I think there was a lot of parts in this game where they were just disgusting, like out of control, undisciplined. Naz Reid, of course, gets 19 points today, second leading scorer for the Timberwolves. There's a few fast breaks where I'm like, Naz, can you slow the hell down? He's dribbling off his own feet, big shoes, big knees, just hitting everything. And they played a sloppy game. And they also shot 17% from three. So of the 4 playoff rounds we had, I don't even know if I can call it the underdog. The road team has won game 1 in every single one of these. And the question becomes, should the Celtics be worried? Should OKC be worried? Should the Cavs now down 2-0? And should the Timberwolves be worried? Of all of these things, I will say out of all of these teams, if I'm ranking who should be worried the most, is obviously the Cavs. I'd probably go, number 2 is tough. I don't want to say the Celtics because I still think the Celtics could win this series. I think if I'm worried about the Celtics, it's the next series and the series after that because Porzingis' stuff is real. I don't know what the hell is going on with Porzingis. And then Jaylen Brown just does not look good as a basketball player right now. So I just don't know what to expect from that. OKC had a super blunder at the end of their game, and they're not going to have the best player in the series. But I still do trust them to come back and win that series. So maybe that's the way I'm putting it. I'm going 1, Cavs most worried. I guess Celtics 2, even though I still think the Celtics can win the championship. OKC 3, and then Minnesota 4. I watched this game, and I didn't think there was like, oh, this is a death sentence for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Maybe I'm wrong. Only time will tell. But when you shoot this bad as a team, when your star player, Anthony Edwards, scores, 2 points in the first half, and then he has to shift his game because his jump shot's not falling to be strictly at the rim, it's just, I trust them a little bit more, and maybe I just need another game sample size from this Warriors team doing what they just did defensively for me to believe in them more. But for what it's worth, Warriors just put together a really good defensive performance, and that might be the way they win this series. I don't know. I say a lot today. If you enjoy, leave it a like. I'll see y'all tomorrow.